You know, the single biggest vulnerability in any security system, it isn't your firewall, it's not your password, it's you. Today we're going to dissect what's called the trust impulse, that basic human reflex to connect with others, and we're going to see how it's being turned into a weapon to bypass every single defense you think you have. Look at this quote. This isn't just some clever line. It's the actual operating manual for modern fraud. The real weak point isn't in your computer's software. It's in your brain's wetware. The very instinct that allowed us to build entire civilizations, well, that's now the main point of attack. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the flaw itself, take a look at your brain's default settings, and then we'll really get into the nuts and bolts of the attack system. We'll examine the psychological tools they use to hijack your thinking, and probably most importantly, we'll cover the exact countermeasures you need to stay safe. Okay, let's dive right into this paradox of connection. For literally thousands of years, our ability to quickly trust each other and work together has been our #1 survival tool. But in the digital world, where you can't see who you're talking to, that strength becomes a liability, a bug that can be exploited with frankly terrifying speed. You see, the scary part is how efficient this is. A scammer doesn't need weeks or months to earn your trust. All they have to do is find the right key for a lock that's already built into your mind. It's like they have a skeleton key that lets them walk right into your life. And that brings us to the central question, doesn't it? Why is this fundamental human trait, our need to make quick, efficient social judgments, the most powerful weapon in a criminal's toolkit? To answer that, we've got to look at how our brains are wired right out of the box. So, this leads us to the target environment, your brain's natural state. And I want you to understand, this isn't some flaw in your character, it's a feature, not a bug, of how our minds work, a feature that's now being systematically exploited. Think about it. Our brains evolved to juggle an incredible amount of social information. And to do that, we developed mental shortcuts, what psychologists call heuristics. These let us make snap judgments about who to trust, who to help, who to avoid. It's a brilliant system for surviving in a small tribe, but it's dangerously out of date for today's world. Okay, this right here is the golden ticket for a scammer. This is the state they need to create in your brain instantly. Cognitive fluency is that smooth, easy feeling you get when a story just makes sense. There's no mental friction, and when something feels right, our brain's natural alarm system just goes quiet. And that's the heart of the manipulation. Scammers use these simple, familiar stories. Your bank account has been compromised, or you've won a prize. These ideas feel easy to process. The victim wants to believe them because believing the easy story feels so much better than the stressful reality that you might be under attack. All right, now for the forensic breakdown. This isn't random. It's not chaos. It's a systematic, repeatable process we're going to call the heuristic attack system. Just think of it like a 3-stage military operation with one single objective: getting you to comply. So the attack always unfolds in 3 clear phases. First, there's initiation, where trust is basically manufactured out of thin air. Second is escalation, where pressure is applied to corner you and isolate you. And finally, there's extraction, where you're the one who willingly performs the action that causes all the damage. Let's break down each step. The whole attack kicks off with a single, powerful trigger: a familiar logo in an email, a spoofed phone number from your bank. This isn't just a lucky guess. It's a scripted pretext designed to fire off one of those mental shortcuts we talked about. This is the crucial moment. If that trigger works, if it gets you into that state of cognitive fluency, your analytical brain gets bypassed from the very first second. Okay, once they have that flicker of trust, the scammer immediately introduces a crisis. There's a huge problem, and it's incredibly urgent. You have to act now. And, this is key, you must not tell anyone. The urgency stops you from thinking. The secrecy stops you from getting help. And here's where the manipulation flips. Suddenly, the scammer becomes your only guide, your only helper through the crisis that they just invented. And this right here, this is the psychological choke point. That combination of urgency and isolation, it creates this intense emotional pressure cooker. The scammer then presents the payment, the wire transfer, the gift card codes, not as something you're losing, but as the only possible way to fix the problem and relieve all that pressure they've put you under. So by this final stage, the victim isn't being forced, not really. They are acting willingly. It's a state of what we call compliant self-sabotage. Their trust impulse, which has been triggered and then amplified, has completely overridden any security training or common sense. The act of sending the money actually feels like the right and necessary thing to do. So how does this hijacking actually work on a biological level? Let's take a look at the specific psychological weapons that get deployed during one of these attacks. Because understanding the tools is the very first step toward making them useless. To really get it, you need to understand your brain's two operating systems. You've got System 1, that's your autopilot. It's fast, it's intuitive, it's emotional. It's what you use to recognize a friend's face or drive a route you take every day. Then you have System 2, that's your pilot. It's slow, analytical, and takes real effort. It's for solving a tough math problem. Scams are specifically designed to keep you locked firmly in System 1. So why the rush? Why all the pressure? It's because your analytical System 2 brain is incredibly powerful, but it's slow to boot up. The speed and the emotional chaos of the attack are engineered to make sure System 2 never even gets a chance to come online. The scammer needs you on autopilot, running on pure emotion. Now, the primary weapons used to keep you in that System 1 mode are these cognitive heuristics. And remember, these aren't bad things in themselves. They're essential mental tools we use to get through the day. But like any tool, they can be turned into a weapon. And scammers know exactly which ones to trigger and when. And this is their standard issue toolkit, pretty much all drawn from the foundational work of psychologist Robert Cialdini. These are some of the most powerful shortcuts that guide our behavior: authority, liking, reciprocity, scarcity, social proof. A good scammer will deploy one or more of these instantly to hotwire your trust. The authority heuristic. Man, this one is a heavy hitter. Our brains are deeply conditioned to comply with figures of authority. So when a caller claims to be from the IRS or your bank's fraud department, your brain's default response isn't suspicion, it's compliance. It's pretty simple. We are far more likely to say yes to people we like. And scammers exploit this by creating a quick illusion of friendship. They'll be friendly, they'll use your first name, they'll sound genuinely concerned. It's a classic tactic designed to lower your guard and make you feel like you're talking to an ally. And then there's the reciprocity principle, that powerful urge to give something back when someone gives you something. Scammers trigger this by helping you with a problem they just made up. They call to alert you to fraud on your account. Now, you feel a subconscious debt, an obligation to cooperate with them to return the favor. All right, we have analyzed the attack. Now let's pivot to defense. And this is all about installing a very simple, non-negotiable protocol that acts like a circuit breaker for your brain. It's designed to pull you out of that emotional trap of System 1. The key is learning to recognize the pattern. It's a simple 3-part formula. It starts with unsolicited contact, that's followed by some kind of instant trust trigger, like authority, and it ends with a demand for urgent or secret action. When you see those 3 things together, every single alarm bell in your head has to go off. I need you to hear this. You cannot outthink a scammer while you are on the phone with them. It's not possible. You're in their environment, you're playing by their rules, and your emotional System 1 brain is at the controls. The only defense that works is to disrupt the attack, to create a hard break that gives your analytical System 2 brain time to come online. This is the protocol. It is simple, it is absolute, and it works. Step 1, mandatory disconnection. Hang up the phone, terminate the contact. I don't care how convincing they sound or how urgent it seems. You hang up. Step 2, out-of-band verification. You do not call back a number they gave you. You go to the official website yourself, find a number that you know is real, and you call them. Here are the words. This is your script. You don't argue, you don't explain, you just state this as your personal policy. I am going to hang up now and call your official number to verify this. A legitimate agent will understand. They might even applaud you. A scammer will panic. This one sentence takes back all the control. So let's wrap this up by boiling everything down into a final, actionable takeaway. This is about building a new mental framework, a new habit, for navigating our digital world safely. Okay, let's put the whole system together one last time. This isn't magic, it's social engineering. The scam exploits your brain's natural desire for things to feel easy, cognitive fluency. It deploys heuristics like authority to bypass your logic. It uses speed and isolation to keep your analytical brain offline, and its single point of failure is your commitment to that mandatory disconnection rule. And this really gets to the fundamental shift in thinking we all need to make.
In the real, physical world, defaulting to trust is usually a good thing. But in the anonymous digital world, that same instinct is a massive liability. Your security now depends entirely on your ability to consciously hit the brakes and override that instinct when you spot the red flags.
And this is your protective mantra. This is the new rule for the digital age. Real trust is built over time through consistent, verifiable actions. But when you're faced with any unsolicited request that demands urgent action, your default response has to be immediate, independent verification. Let that be the thought that keeps you safe.